Hello there. In this video I want to talk about this thing that is the Line 6 Helix, and I'm going to do a fair few different videos on this. It is my main gig rig, but in this video I wanted to speak about the kind of downsides about using a Helix as opposed to using a different either amp modeler or a classic traditional rig like a tube rig basically. And it's I suppose it's more directed at people like me because I have really bad option paralysis and I struggle with having loads of options. The issue I find with the Helix, whilst it sounds amazing when dialed in correctly, is that there are too many options within it. So there's loads of different types of amps in there. There's loads of different types of cabs in there. You can change the speakers that are in the cabs. You can load impulse responses into the cabs. And then, excuse me, on top of that, loads of different miking options for the cabinets as well. So you can change the mic types, the distance of the mic as well. On top of that still, there's then things such as within the amp, you've got the values that everything's at. So your gain, your drive, your middle, treble, bass, etc. And then you've got the bias, the hum, the sag. And that's before you've even broken into things such as effects. There's literally so much to it. Like literally the downside to a Helix is that it requires a lot of time and knowledge to dial in the sound that you want. I still haven't completely dialed in the sound that I want on my Helix for different types of sounds. I've got the sounds for a few different sounds. Some of the presets are really good within it, and some of the sounds that you can get from the Line 6 support network as well are good. However, finding the time around everything else within your life to dial in the sounds that you want on the Helix, it can be really hard just because there's so many options, as opposed to something such as like a Sans Amp Fly Rig, which is basically one amp sound, and you just have it's basically like an amp with a cab simulator in it. You don't get options with it. It's just a one amp sound. You dial in your settings like you would on an amp. So your drive, your gain, your bass, middle, treble, presence, and that's it. You're good to go then. And then if you want to add compressor on it and etc., then you can do. So it's real simple with something like that that's plug and play. The Helix technically is plug and play in terms of you can plug it straight into a sound system and it'll sound like, you'll get a sound coming out, it'll sound good, but whether it'll be the exact sound that you're looking for straight away is a different question because of all the options that are within there. So literally, like, as I say, it's amazing. Like, I'm not knocking the product at all. Like, I make a living as a musician with the Helix, as I'm a live performer, and that's how I get by through life. But finding the time to dial in the sounds around everything else that you do within your life is really hard to do. So that is one of the drawbacks of a Line 6 Helix. Where I would say it comes in handy with regards to having all those options is if you're someone such as a sound engineer and you need these different amp sounds, or you do more recording as opposed to live work. Again, it comes in really handy for live as well. It's just finding the time to physically actually go through everything, and you could try something and it sounds great, but then you might go, oh, actually, I'll try it with this cab now. You switch to this other cab and then before you do it, you know it, you're messing with different settings again to try and find that different setting. So if you are considering getting a Helix, I'm not saying don't get one, because I use it and love it. I'm saying just take into consideration that if you have option paralysis like I do, it can take quite a long time to find the sound that you're looking for. It helps if you've got a good idea of different amp models and the sort of actual amp in general that creates the sound that you want, and just try and stick to those and negate all the other amp models and cab models within the Helix that you've not heard of before. Just try and, otherwise you'll just spend hours. At the same time, it can be super fun going through all that as well. If you've got a Helix, let me know in the comments below, because I'm sure there'll be quite a few saying, well, you know, what's wrong with having loads of different options, which I'm prepared for, and there is nothing wrong with that at all. Leave the comments below of what your, you know, not what your thoughts are on the Helix, because I think it's an amazing piece of equipment, but what your thoughts are with regards to what I'm talking about, the kind of option paralysis. Do you feel there's a lot going on within there that could be made a little bit simpler to get through it all, and maybe even less options within there to make it less time consuming as well? Let me know below. I hope this video helps you. If you're thinking of getting a Helix, I hope this helps you with your decision, whether you choose to get one or whether you choose not to get one. And if you could like the video, that would be amazing, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be playing a little bit more with the Helix over the next few weeks, because I am looking into writing a new solo album soon, and I'm going to be dialing in some settings and just trying to find the time to physically work on tones within my Helix. And I probably will take back all of the words I've just said with regards to option paralysis once I've actually eventually dialed in my tones. But we will see with regards to that in the future. In the meantime, keep on rocking.